Hi, this is Kaleb with Broken Arrow Blades, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. I'd like to share the process of this scrap knife with you guys. So here's what I did. I took a bunch of cutoff pieces that I've had just from other knives and just random leftover scrap, and with this decided to make my first video. Now the metal I'm using is nothing special, as it's just leftover pieces from other blades that I've worked on. A little bit of 1095, a lawnmower blade, I think just some mild steel. I didn't really know. I just kind of wanted to test out just working on Damascus, as it's been a while for me. Really my main goal with this project was just to hone my skills with Damascus, as in the near future I will be attempting true Damascus with actual good steel. And I really just wanted to get the feel down and just make sure I know what I'm doing, really. Now I'm not going to do a whole voiceover for this entire video, as I know a lot of people just like to sit back and watch the process of blacksmithing, so I'm just going to leave it there, guys. Enjoy the video. Holy shit. Well, I lied. I'm going to come in and yap a little bit more. So here's the finished piece. So just kind of a giant blob, as you saw, but I was only starting with pieces that are about 1 inch by 1.5 inch, so I knew this wasn't going to be a massive project, but I did have a cool idea in mind with this. So here I am sanding just to get them clean, and I was really just curious with this steel, as I had no idea what it would look like. Immediately just wanted to dump it in the acid just to see if I had any sort of layers or contrast at all. And it was kind of hard to tell there, but I do have a little bit right there. You can tell. There is some layers, as I know it'll be super low, but there's still around 5. Here I am yet again, checking for contrast on these pieces. Throughout this whole project, I was just very curious on how this would turn out just with junk steel, and I was constantly dunking them into acid just to make sure that I had at least something going on. And what do you know, there's still contrast. Who would have guessed? In the next shot, I'm sorry about the camera angle, that is my bad, but here I am quenching the blade. And as soon as this thing got cooled off from the quench, I immediately dipped it in acid just to see what I had. And I was very surprised. I actually came out with something that looked pretty cool. Now, as it was getting later in the night, I didn't take as many videos as I would like to show off everything, but that little piece I'm showing is a little piece of quarter Damascus, where you have the copper, tin, zinc, and whatever metals they put in quarters, I don't even know. But it's actually a really cool process. Look it up on YouTube, because I did not film making that. Now, since this was just a scrap Damascus made of garbage pieces, I really wanted to lean into the aspect of that. So everything else that is made from this blade was made from scrap, as that handle was just scrap oak board someone was going to throw away. And I guess I did use probably $5 in quarters to make a big piece of this. I only took a little chunk out for the guard, but you know, how much is $5 really worth in this economy anyway? So far, all scrap in this blade. I ended up changing the handle design like 7 times on this blade, as just with the size of the actual blade itself, I just wanted to make something small for it. Now, here's where I end up goofing up. I've never done this in all the blades I've ever made. To me, that looked normal. It was about 3 a.m. I was calling it a day, and I was like, oh yeah, that looks good. As you can obviously tell, the blade I glued in backwards. I have never once done this before. However, I lucked out and I found this old just camp stove, and it took a while, but I got that handle off. You live and you learn. Don't be out in the garage at 3 a.m. trying to finish something because you just don't want to wait till tomorrow. But anyway, I got that off. Thank God. I was pretty scared about that. Kind of burnt the absolute you-know-what out of the blade and the handle, but I don't think it messed with the temper or anything, so all good there. Just a massive blunder on my part. And I kind of got tired of recording already. That's my bad, but 1, 2, skip a few. Look at that, where handle's already done. So here's kind of what it looks like finished. There's still a little burn mark on the handle, but you won't even really notice it. And I did end up remaking the handle out of a different wood than that oak originally. This was out of a old cutting board someone was tossing. I don't know what the wood exactly is, but even just with the boiled linseed oil on it, it looks pretty good. Now, the process of making this knife wasn't exactly smooth. There was a few hiccups, but that's just the luck I've had with knife making. However, in the end, I think this knife came out pretty good, and I'm glad to share the finished product with you guys.